I transition back to the game. Come on, OBS, you can do this. Right, unpause the game. Let's just make sure people are back. Alright. Keep an eye on Discord. Yeah, that was weird. I went to... so I couldn't select the stadium, which I now have renamed Bob's Baseball Stadium. And then, yeah, reloading the game, suddenly all three of my monitors went black. And even though it all popped up again, OBS crashed, the game crashed. Maybe my processor just conked out for a minute. Hopefully everyone's back, though, and we can continue. Okay. Should we fix the metro now? What's my current stream bitrate? See if I can increase that as well. Okay, let's see if this works. So I want to lay out some new metro. Some of which runs from Lafayette across the Bankside, some goes from the stadium down to Fantasy World. All converging at Guard Square. This area here. Hello, Bob. We should be back, we should be working now. Let's just move you. What I want is this. So can I not edit this at all? Oh, I can. That's kind of cool. I can like move all of these. Huh. I like that. So what are you? Your depths are all the same. Which one's track? Right, track 2. I want you to be that. Alright, and this is where the problem starts. Maybe that's not going to work. I can have you be an island platform though. So let's have track 3 rotate 90 degrees. Like that. Track. Wait. Why does it keep changing? Let's remove that one. Remove that one. Remove that one. So track 1. I want it to be basically central, but move it slightly this way to like minus 20, or maybe plus 20. No, plus 15. That's fine. Depth, quite deep, like 30. Length, 152. Okay. Now if I clone you, you're going to be on the other side like that. I think that random buffering on your end, your stream bitrate and the UK-US latency could be causing YouTube to drop the suggested quality to 360p maximum randomly. Possibly. But, I mean, like with most things, there's not an awful lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. So why is that suddenly an invalid shape? But this one is fine. That's actually kind of annoying. Is anyone else getting random suggested quality drops to 360p? No one's mentioned it. If anyone else has had that problem though, do mention it. You can see why I stopped streaming OpenTTD though, can't you? With all these issues. Okay, let's do something like this. So those platforms should be just below. I'm actually thinking about it. Don't think they're going to be deep enough. I also think that these ones should be the deepest. I think that. Wait, track 1. There. Track 2. There. No, wait. These two need to go like this. What the hell's going on? Track 1. Okay, track 2. These are all going to be island platforms. Track 3. Okay, and then track 4. So you're also that. Track 4. Like that. I think with the settings you've set, some track types cause platforms to overlap, causing the invalid shape error. Do you mean the settings here? I can't think which ones it would be though. Alright, Stadium Point Station. Nothing fancy. You're going to be maximum depth. Okay. Then we got Guard Square. So the line's going to go between the stadium and Fantasy World. And then we're going to have another line that goes from Lafayette to Fantasy World. And then a line that's going to go from the Industrial Park to Bankside. And the fourth line, I don't know about yet, actually. Don't know about that one. I'm going to put a metro station... maybe on the corner here. Or a little bit up the road. I might have a Leslie Green design here, actually. That one. Might as well. And I'll probably put it on this side. Oh. Right, hang on. I'm going to have to do something really, really quickly. As a matter of urgency. This is going to tank my stream for a second. Oh, please don't crash. Right. Quick! And select those. I've just got to transfer some files because I'm running out of storage space. This is not ideal. Oh, come on. Right, just this one then, because it's the biggest. Okay, let's see what that does to the stream. Right. Did I place the station? No, I didn't. Wow, I mean, everything goes wrong very quickly, doesn't it? I kind of want to put the station on this road here at a 90-degree. Maybe a slight curve as well. So I'm going to connect it up to this. Maybe just like this. And then you rattle across over to Guard Square. Let me know if the stream's buffering at all. So at least this time I'll know why it is. Wrong way. We'll do that, and then over in Bankside. Where are we going to go from here? Maybe another residential area over here that we can connect to? Here would be a really good spot for it. Or on this side of the road. Like that. Okay. And then another station over in Leapside. Any of these I could put down? Glass Cube Metro Station. This would be kind of cool. I don't think it connects to anything though. I have got like these as well that I could use. Or this. How did you know you were running out of disk space? Was it an OBS warning? No, it was a Windows warning. So I've had to move some of my recordings over onto my other PC. Where am I going to place this? There would be kind of cool. It needs to link up to the existing transport, like there. It's going to be... So if I show you the map, so Stadium Point is going to have two lines running to it. One is going to run down this way through the left-hand vertical one here, then through Halliday, connect up to this, and run out to Fantasy World. The other one is then going to turn east, go through Leapside, Hunway, and down to Shoreham Industrial Park. For the horizontal ones, the northmost one is then going to run through the Leisure District to Bankside, and then eastways it's going to run through Leapside, Hunway, and terminate at Lafayette. The southernmost one is going to come down this way towards Shoreham as well, so there'll be like a Shoreham North and a Shoreham South, and then in the other direction it's going to run west and connect up to this line here and run to Fantasy World. So we're going to have two lines run to Fantasy World, two to the stadium, two to Shoreham, one to Bankside. So I need to kind of plan this out. Are you above ground? It's really hard to tell. Oh yeah, you're above ground. Or are you running out of disk space on your streaming computer? Yeah, so I got when I record all my videos and when I do my streams, I record to this computer that I'm streaming on now, and then I move, tends to be in bulk, but I move it all onto my other PC via Ethernet. So all I had to do is accelerate when I was moving it over. So it's not a massive emergency. It's an irritation more than anything. Can I put a stop? So if you come out, it's this one, the southernmost of those. So it's got to kind of be in line with that. Why does that not work? But that does. I could do it like that. And then I think there will be a station at the transport tower. That's likely going to be on the Lafayette line though. As for this one, I suppose I could have a stop here as well. Like this. And then you run down to Shoreham. And then I'm going to need another station in the Leapside. So if I've done my maths right, there should be 3 metro lines that I'm building right now. What are you going to do once you run out of storage space on both of your computers? Will you buy more storage? If so, how? Amazon. Or will you delete old recordings and downscale 4K recordings to 1080? No, I'm going to keep every video I've ever made for whatever channel I've worked on. I'm going to keep. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's my intellectual property. In terms of storage space, fortunately, storage drives are getting smaller and smaller as time goes by. So it's becoming less of an issue. So yeah, I'll keep buying storage because my old PC has 4 external hard drives. This new PC that I'm using doesn't have any yet. So in theory, I could just start buying some for this. No, that's wrong. It's also wrong. Do I need it to go this way and then plus 45? So that was the issue here. It's really weird. I suppose that'll do. Stick you there. And then yeah, you're going to run to Shoreham South on one of these bits here, and then you're going to run. Actually, so I still can't build one of these, can I? Because of invalid shape. But this one and this one, so they're both eventually going to be running in the same direction. So I kind of want like an above ground station. Let's see if I can have 4 tracks. So I can't with these. I probably could with one of these though. I need more above ground metro stations. That's the problem. Because I just want like a 4-track metro section. I think that would look really cool. Welcome back, George. What's the total storage capacity that you have across all digital storage devices you have? I think I've got... I change the number every time I say because I can't remember exactly, but I think it's something like 2 4TB storages, 2 2TB storages, and they're just the external ones. One's for my Xbox though. I think it's either a 4 or 2 that I use for my Xbox. I can't remember what. My old PC, I can't remember what either of the hard drives inside are. My new PC, I've got a 1TB solid state drive and a 4TB hard disk drive. This is the one that I can just build anywhere, right? Yeah. I know I'm dawdling. I always dawdle. The master of dawdling. Okay, scratch that idea. We can't have a 4-track metro section right now. What I can do... Invalid shape. How annoying. I can have one of these. One of these will act as the terminus for the northern route, which I believe is that one. And then the southern route will continue down for one more stop, which I will stick there, or there. I have no idea. I've never sat down and calculated it. If that's what it equals, then that's what it equals. But I don't know. It's always been, if I need more storage, I'll try and get more storage, or I'll make more storage. I didn't build the station at Lafayette. I want something quite fancy. It's a shame that I can't just put something like this in. I think it's got to be at least on the same street as this tram terminus. I'm going to build it extra deep. Maybe I'll build it on this side. Like there. Then if we do expand up this way in the future, we can have another branch that perhaps does that. I'm going to connect the Lafayette line up first. Like that. And then from here, running up there. I've got to try and remember what I'm doing now. So you're running... Is it that your archived videos are already as compressed as they can be? Or would you try to compress them further? I like to keep every video I've ever made. Because particularly when I did my 5-year celebration, I really appreciated the fact that I'd kept every video I'd ever made. Otherwise, that would have been impossible to do. Plus, it's always nice to be able to look back and say, I did that. Okay, so I can't go deeper. This is going to be interesting. So I'm going to try and link this up. You can just go straight down like that, no problem. There we go. So that's that done. Now back to this. Did I build? Oh, there. I'm trying to find the station. So this is really working on the idea of a feeder system. So the metro just takes you into the area of Bankside, and then the bus and the tram takes you on to where you want to be in Bankside. So this line, at this point, can pretty much run above ground. Make it run above ground. Can I fit you under here? Yep. And at this point, if I go under like this and then go up and over. There we go. I admire your perseverance. A lot of people would quit after so many years without that much growth. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, actually. But thank you, I guess. Compliment. I mean, it's kind of hard to take that as a compliment when you read what you've written there. I feel like I've missed out a line. Oh, I know why. Yeah, I have missed out a line. So this line is going to be the one that runs down to Shoreham. This way. From this end here, actually. I mean, I talk a lot, especially lately, I talk a lot about the lack of growth on this channel and what could possibly be the reason behind it. I suppose here I could very briefly have a 4-track section. If I had a design that I could use, like this, it's 4 tracks. I'm still saying invalid shape. How am I meant to... That doesn't do it either. Don't know. I really want a 4-track. Maybe if I just do this. That seems to work. Actually, I've put it there, but here's a better spot, or maybe somewhere. This bit here is perfect, actually. Like that. So this is what, a height of 27? Do you think that YouTube is or will soft cap video quality on the client side to 480, allow you to manually increase it? I've no idea. I don't know what all these technical questions are suddenly about. I have no idea. I've no idea whether they're going to do it. I've no idea if I'm going to be okay with it. There are more important things to be worrying about than that. Alright, we'll see if that works. I have my doubts. I think I can have another 4-track station over here somewhere. Where would I put it? I think this corner here is a good one. These people really don't like having an underground line directly beneath their houses. But then, would you? Probably not. Okay, I've did this a bit too long. That wasn't part of the plan, was it? Right. Would you rather live in an area that was residential for miles, commercial for miles, industrial for miles, or office space for miles? Well, residential, otherwise why else would I live there? Okay. I'm going to rebuild a lot of this as well. Now that I've got like the basic layout for a lot of this down, where's 9? There's 9. Actually, under... How the heck am I going to do this? So let's do this to there. Now this fits easy. Something like that. Okay, so I think I can build this out and to join up like that. This one, I'm going to try and go up and over. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's like a weird bump here. Is there a way to move that? Yeah, there we go. And then over at this end, like this. And then okay. What is your favourite and least favourite mod of City Skylines? I wouldn't say I have a least favourite, because I wouldn't use it if I did. In terms of... I force this to be like ground... Ooh, yeah, but not that type. That type. And then I can use move it to edit that stuff. I think my favourite mod is probably Metro Overhaul mod, because it adds so many new features that I wouldn't otherwise have access to. I think if I did have to pick a least favourite, I don't know. That's the thing. I genuinely don't know. It's kind of not really what I wanted, but there we go. What are some books or stories, fiction or non-fiction, any genre, that have major elements of urban planning in them, similar to elements found in... I have no idea. No idea. What on earth am I going to do with this? Okay, so I can swap this, something like that, and then swap this. I'm not sure why it feels the need to remove the third rail during that section. But that's really weird. Alright, that should fit through there now. Now if I go into underground view, oh my days. I can lengthen this though. Like that. And there's another node there that I can... Which I might just remove that node and rebuild. Like that. It's a bit smoother. This bit's a bit weird. It'll have to do. And then this side. Oh boy. So first things first. That's a metro station there. That's why that can't move. Did you know that with some processing it's possible to use waste from one nuclear reactor as fuel? Okay. Is that relevant? There's a metro station there, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to change the depth of this. So you are what? I'm going to go just for this type. Like that. Depth mark. The one thing you said you were going to change, you didn't. And also your that. I'll do it at like 18. This monuments. What height is this? 27. So I need to bring you up to 18. So if I do like that and then that, that'll work. And then join you like that. How do I do this? There used to be a way. I'm sure it used to be in this. You could toggle. Maybe I'm wrong. I could do that and then move this node wherever you are. Here. You've not really done what I wanted you to do. Mainly because you're still going underground. I might have to redo this. I think what I'm going to have to do is make this be the straight ahead option. So like from here, have you come out. Hey? No. Oh, this is annoying. Might as well go with a different design if I'm doing this then. Go with that. Why is it telling me? Oh, that's why it's telling me. Duh. Right. Ground level. And then up. Why have you done that? Why is that all one big section? Oh, actually, that's not too bad. That's a nice gradual slope. So if I can now get this to do the same. Like that. That should work out all right. Okay. If you set the real-time game speed as 1 for daytime but 4 for nighttime, does it change the time units on the fly? I don't know. I just don't know. You're basically asking the wrong person. I'm really not liking this connection here. It's not my best work. It kind of makes it better. Whereas this one... Crikey, O'Reilly. I like both. Do like both. The 1K streams were good for obvious reasons. We're celebrating 1K subs. But this is... It's not ideal. Let's put it that way. In all honesty, I would rather be... Right now, just making content. But, I mean, the content that I did have planned for this week, for various reasons, hasn't been able to happen. So being able to do these streams is a good way to kind of make up for that fact. It's the slope coming out of the metro. It's just ugly. Look at it. Who decided that that is acceptable? Because now I'm busting my gut here trying to fix it. Also, have I... Yeah, I haven't denoted these as being one way. That way. Can I go underground, please? Right. Do you notice that on the chat it no longer shows when each message is sent? If so, is it only in dark mode or also in... Why do you want to know when each message was sent? Does it matter? I'm quite happy with it as is. So if you want it to show when the time was sent, then why do you want it to show when the time was sent? Why not just leave it as is? So all these other times where it goes in and out of 4-track, it seems to work fine. It just seems to be this one bit. I think because it comes out from underground while it's doing it. It's just horrible. It's a really weird shape that we've got here. It is, of course, Someone who knows how to use this mod better than I do will be able to come up with a solution to this, no problem. Whereas I am struggling for that exact reason. So I kind of want this one to be deeper. Like that. Because then that is pretty much a flat tunnel entry. Then I've got to have this really weird... I suppose trains will be going downhill at this point. This is bump. I'm sure there used to be a smooth tool. This to be ground. I mean, all of this could be ground in theory, but I think that bit should be elevated. Wow, that's going to be a really bumpy ride. A really bumpy ride. This tunnel entry is perfect. This one over here is adequate. It'll do. Oh yeah, I've still got to do this. Oh god. Right. That's not too bad. I can live with that. And then on this side, if I just move this over a bit. May I ask what that tab is at the end with the cars next to the search tool? That is the vehicle option, so I can change speed limits, acceleration stats, everything for those vehicles. Right, there will be a station here in the future, I'm sure. That's why we're connecting these and disconnecting these, otherwise I'll just keep them separate. Right, let's say that's done for now. Now I can come over here and fix this a bit more. A bit like that. This side should be fine. So I did this side before. Yeah, having a smoothing tool would be handy. Because, yeah, it's not perfect. I have no idea what this connection looks like. Yeah, that node there needs to come up. Okay, for now, I'm going to say it's done. And the last thing I need to do is connect this over here. So what height are you? You're minus 27. You're 15 apparently. Watch how that messes up the... Oh no, it didn't. Although that junction's a bit weird. I'll live with it for now. Right. And then I need to link this over here. Which I can do. Actually, if I come off of this and go over the top, I'll make these one way in a bit. Do that, and then connect you to that, and then connect you to that, and then make these one way. Like that. And then for the power, do that. Get rid of that. So in theory, actually not quite, bear with. In theory, in a second, we will be able to start running trains. Should I just do that? It's not the worst way to connect it up, you know? And then from here, what height are you? Minus 27. Like that. So now you can get to that station, you can get to that station, and via a really elongated route you can get to that station. And those are the 3 metro lines, if I recall. So the only one they can't get to right now is the stadium to Fantasy World. But if we do that line last, do disaster services, increase land value even if disasters are off. I don't know. I don't know. Probably, probably not. I wouldn't have thought so if it's... because I don't even have the Disasters DLC. So on that basis I'd wager no. So do it like that. That looks better. Okay. So I can do that a bit more. And that can go a bit more like that. I think at this point, if we don't start placing down metro lines, we never will. So I will start doing that in a minute. This really isn't the smoothest of junctions. But there we are. Right, metro lines. We're going to have one that starts in that platform, and then you stop there. You then run on the outside here, and you go there and there. There, and then on this one, let's say you run into the left hand, actually no, let's say you run into the right hand platform, and then back. No, it runs on the outside. It runs on the inside, which I don't really want it to do. Yeah, that one runs on the... I might be able to use Traffic Manager to force that though. So you're going to be the emerald line. Are you going to put your city under natural disasters later on, or are you just trying to make a really good city? Yeah, I don't have the DLC. I'm not going to buy the DLC either. I don't like the idea of spending hours and hours building something just for something else to come along and destroy it. That's never appealed to me. Did you know there are plans to reopen part of the old Woodhead route, as well as 7282 other proposals? Yeah, you told me that. I already knew about the Woodhead route, but you told me about the other ones. You start in that platform. Stop there. So then you join that, so you're in the lower one. So now you're running on the outside. Stop there. So then you run into the top one there. that platform there, and then whichever one of those. That platform there, that platform there. That platform there. That platform there. What the heck? I hope that's not a problem. Shamrock line. Okay, and then the last one. So this line's going to run fast through all of these stations until we get to Guard Square. And then all the way out to Fantasy World. That platform is fine. And then all the way back. Fast to the transport tower. And there. And you're going to be the lime line. Oops, no, not the line line. The lime line. I'm just going to have 6 on each one. Before we start here, where was it swapping lines? Was it here? How is it swapping lines? There's no way for it to swap lines. Did that, and then here I'm just going to have the outer line connect. Like that. You fixed yourself. Now we've got no lines running through the inside until here. Alright, I think it is fixed. I think it is working. Save. And I'm going to ride on board whichever train this is. So you're on the lime line. Sure. Let's just try this one. Just a random car park there. Interesting. Okay, here we go. There's a few people waiting already. So yeah, this has got us running on the outside. Oh, oh god. Yeah, these stations are not right. Oh dear. And this one's not right either. That's kind of annoying. I think I might fix that next time. No, I really should do it now, shouldn't I? I can't leave it. Off we go to Fantasy World. There are some parts of this city I really like looking at in first person, and then there's the metro. Ugh, look at that. Not ideal. I've got to fix these two stations. Which was what? This one and this one. So you were this type, that style platform. No rotation. Horizontal. It's basically there, and then up a little bit vertically. There. And then the depth was 27. There's the problem. It's now vertically is it the full 36? Again. I'll do it right this time. Track 1. That. No. I'm gonna frickin' lose it in a minute. Right, that. That. Where's the other one? Over here. This one should be a little bit easier to place at least. Okay. Like that. Da 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 da. I think I have to do these lines again, which isn't ideal. I think it's that one. So I'm just going to do them all again. Just going to do them all again. It's a lot easier that way. This lane thing, can I do it underground? Yeah. Outside to outside, inside to inside, inside to inside, outside to outside. And then here. Why is there only two? Weird. Alright, that one there, that one there. Come on. There we go. So whatever you do on the other line, bits of the line, I don't care. But when there's a station, you follow the line rules. Hey, Death. I'm doing alright. Managed to avoid it. I had a cold like the week that it first sort of crossed over to here. Then I've had a cough ever since, but I'm not showing any other symptoms, so I'm not worried at all about it, in all honesty. No one in my family seems to be showing symptoms either, so it's all good. So yeah, you'll have to excuse me coughing, but it's not because of that. Right, so here, this line joins on the outside and then leaves on the outside, which is what I wanted. So yeah, you go that way, you go that way, you join that side, you join that side. So yeah, you can come across there, but coming back, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm in the state that's being locked down. Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds. That's the thing. Like over here, there's a lot of things that are very different, obviously, but the whole lockdown thing, as a country, I think we're taking it quite well. There is obviously idiots. There's always idiots that will just do their own thing and not care. But you know, as long as you follow the advice and stuff like that, it's fine. So I think I'm gonna have to build another line from here connecting up to this, and it be a one-way line. What's this? Can't even see what that is. Excuse me, I'd like to go underground now. There we go. So I've got these one-way tracks that then join up with this. I think that this should actually come off this way and then go over the top and join. Let's see if I can build that. Where am I? Like that, and then I can remove this, what the hell? I don't think that was joined properly. Who is clapping for the NHS at 8? I will be. Yeah, I will be. Yeah, but the ones that do not follow the guidelines is the ones that cause trouble for everyone else. Yeah, those people, like over here, there's been people throwing barbecues and all sorts of things despite being told not to. And quite often now the police just round them up and arrest them all. So, I mean, there's always going to be troublemakers. Doesn't matter what kind of society you live in, there's always going to be someone who thinks they're above the rules. It's just one of those unfortunate things. As long as the majority follow the advice. I mean, I have no medical experience, so I'm literally going off what I've heard others say. If we all just follow the advice, we'll all get through this. It's people who ignore the advice, they're going to make life difficult for themselves. So long as they don't make life difficult for everyone else. Is that line going through? It's hard to tell. I think that train... I think that, yeah. I think that's going... don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. Here in the USA, most people do follow the guidelines, but our numbers keep going up. I'm one of the hardest hit states. The delayed response didn't help. Now there is a response. It'll be surprising how quickly things will change. But yeah, the delayed response most likely did not help. I will be joining in with the NHS clap this time. Now that I actually know it's happening this time. I was so out of the loop last time that I didn't know what it was. That was last Thursday, wasn't it? So is it going to be a weekly thing from now on? Right, you're going to be right hand side. Like that, and then back here. Now you were the emerald line, weren't you? I think the this S-Stock thing, it didn't have an end vehicle. There might be a mod for that. There's probably a mod for it. I'm going to do 8 vehicles for each line. Okay, and then this side through the center there, into that stop, outside stop there, outside stop there. I'm also considered an essential worker by Homeland Security and Department of Defense. I work for a defense contractor, so I have to keep this letter on me that I got from DOD. Yeah, essential workers. Again, because it's... I've got to be careful what I'm saying here, because I don't want to make it sound like advice, because it's not. But if you're an essential worker, chances are you're working in an area that either knows how to quash out the virus anyway, or there's not enough people for it to actively spread. As long as you take the precautions still that you would have been briefed about, I'm sure. The only people who are at risk, direct risk, who are essential workers are people who work in the health services. And hopefully they are getting the equipment that they badly need. Someone's made the point on the NUFC Reddit that Wijnaldum shouldn't be hated by our fans. What do you think? I think enough time has passed that we shouldn't hate him. It's more the fact that he rocked up for half a season, first half of the season, played really, really well, and then just disappeared. Like, he still played every match, but he just stopped performing, and then at the end of the season, I don't think he asked to leave, but he was one of the first out the door. It just looks weird. It doesn't feel right. You look at what he's gone on to do with Liverpool, and it kind of makes you wonder, why did he not show up for the second half of the season we got relegated? Alright, so you go through there, and then out to Fantasy World. That one. And then back. Through there, through there. To there. And then up here. You are lime line. Okay. So I want to grab one of the Shamrock or Emerald trains. No food retailers are also considered essential as well, and they deal with the public as well. That's true. Although over here, a lot of our supermarkets have set up systems now, so there's lines on the floor so you stay 2 meters apart. They sanitize all the shopping trolleys and things like that. So yeah, I mean they're in the public line too. Transport workers too, I suppose. Even though travel's non-essential right now. I think he always planned to use this to get a move to a bigger Premier League club. The relegation didn't do any favours when he made the move. I think you got a point. I think you got a point there, Tom. I don't like players who, especially players who ask to leave a club after relegation. Which, again, like I said, I don't think Wijnaldum did that. I don't think he asked to leave, but I don't think he asked to stay either. So there's a lot of players, when Newcastle went down both times, who specifically stated that they would stay and help us get promoted again. And, you know, even players like Perez. Newcastle fans hate Perez now, but he stayed when we got relegated. He got us back up. Then he kept us up twice, and then he left. So that's slightly different for me. I don't hate Perez. I want him to do well. One works in food retail, but now can't work because I have to stay at home because I'm high risk. Yeah, we don't have anyone high risk really in our family, so it's not something that we've had to consider. Fortunately. Now, why are we slowing right down here? Okay, this seems to be working now. The only issue with Perez was that he fell over if you touched him. That's slightly different though, isn't it? Like, he was a wuss. But he was a committed wuss. Okay, so the crossovers are all still here. There is a mod that I found on Steam, I'll see if it's compatible with Sunset Harbour, that does remove the crossovers when the traffic manager lines don't use them. So I might do that just to clean up some of these junctions a little bit. Alright, diverge. One up here. I'm not sure what that is we just went through. I hope these trains are long enough or short enough for these platforms. I would hope so. Essential is considered what keeps us healthy, safe, and keeping society running, like food, utilities. Yeah, so a lot of them, like we had to have our boiler serviced early this week, and the guy who did that is technically an essential worker, but he was saying that he doesn't really have many jobs at the moment, just people who are on the urgent list. Which for some reason we were. I'm not sure why. Wow, look at the oscillation in the track there. Okay, so it works in that direction. Rain isn't supposed to 100% leak through the entire dozen-meter thick layer of ground between the above ground and the tunnel. No, I don't know why the rain comes through. It shouldn't, but it does. I don't know if the game process. I think it's a bit like Planet Coaster. It doesn't quite process indoors or underground. you just have highlight and low light. It always amazes me how quickly the Metro gets popular again. Pity you can't put signals down. Yeah, invisible signals. That's one thing I didn't like about Cities in Motion as well, was there was no signalling. Particularly for the Metro. That would have saved a lot of time and effort. That is concerning. So that looks like a Limelight train shooting through the centre there. So it looks like this is working. Another Limelight train. It's a Shamrock train arriving. So I think the trains are just about the right length for the platforms. We'll see here when this train stops. Yeah, just about right. I think we're just going to have to ignore a lot of the frailties with the Metro right now. Until a time that I'm experienced enough with Move It to be able to fix it. There should just be a mod called Fix It. I tick a box and it goes and fixes all the mistakes that I've made so far. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Okay. So it is now unbunching vehicles. So I'll see if I can grab an Emerald line train as well. Back out of this. Okay. How do I select that vehicle without having to go into the traffic view, transport view first? There we go. Oh wow, that's really ugly. Those passengers sink into the station. Yes, they did. Again, there's probably a way of sorting that. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know. Yeah, there are limitations still with a lot of the game. I'm very, very happy with the game and the mods. I think that a lot of people have put a lot of hard work into making all this possible. There are limitations, and it's about really just accepting those limitations. Would you like it if Paradox released a City Skylines sequel with increased game limits, best parts of all DLCs, better performance, etc., or keep releasing DLCs for years to come? I don't know. I don't like the Sims model of every 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is, they release a new base game that has none of the DLCs and then make you pay for the DLCs again. So like if you own The Sims 4 right now and you have all the DLC and then they release The Sims 5, if you buy that Sims 5, you will then have to wait for all that DLC to be released again in the future before you can use it. I'm not a fan of that model. But I think, a bit like Planet Coaster, there has to be a point where they can't add any more to the game because of the limitations of the engine. And that's when work on a sequel should start. But I think the base sequel should have all of the sort of the best bits of the DLC as part of the base game. I think the best way to do it. So I imagine no one will be happy if they have to pay for all the DLC again. And that goes for Planet Coaster as well as City Skylines. I think that will leave a bitter taste in people's mouths. What is that? Oh, that's the station pillar. That's fine. But yeah, I'm not opposed to them doing that. Okay, I need to find a Limeline train now. Which is relatively easy because you just select that. Like so. That bridge is awful. Really bad. Yeah, I think there's a mod that allows you to have an end car that's the same as the front end. We're queuing, are we? This is because of vehicle unbunching. It's a lot easier to do this on Metro than it is with buses and trolleys and trams because it's all segregated right of way. Okay, so now we all move forward. So yeah, the M4J network should be releasing in 30 minutes, but this week there isn't going to be one. Even though it's been edited and it's all ready to go, just the fact there's no other videos this week, I'd rather have a full week of uploads. Plus there's still content to watch, you guys are all watching this. Any second now. Would you pay double for the next game but get all the paid DLCs for free when they come out? If so, which sequel would you apply that deal on? No, I wouldn't. I think if you're releasing a sequel to a game that is full of DLC, you have to include the vast majority of that DLC in the sequel as standard. Then any DLC that you couldn't release for the original game, you can then release as paid DLC for the sequel. So I'm sure with Planet Coaster, for example, I know Planet Coaster a lot better than I know City Skylines. So I think Planet Coaster, there was a lot of DLC and a lot of rides that they wanted to add but couldn't because of the limitations of the game. So if they did a sequel, those rides that they couldn't add should be the DLC, and the rides that are in the current game should be in the sequel as standard. Maybe they could release improved versions of the original rides as DLC. Yeah, you make a rod for your own back when you release DLC like this, because then people expect it to be in the next game. And I try not to be a demanding gamer, but I think something like that, there has to be a standard set. Look at that, all the queue for these trains. The speed limit thing probably doesn't help. We might have to reduce the number of trains on this line actually, because every time one leaves the end station there, another one joins the queue. Oh, that bridge. Oh, that ramp. It's not very nice. So I think here I'm going to remove... What are we? The lime line. I'm going to remove a couple of vehicles. I'm also going to change the speed limit. What is it at this end? It's 10 miles an hour. What is the speed limit for the Metro? We don't really know, do we? It's just regulation speed. So that's going to be 10 miles an hour. Up here, 10 miles an hour. Down here, where is it? Is it over here? Can't remember where I built the station now. Must be there. And then this side, 10 miles an hour. That side can be normal. Where else? Bankside. Cheers, down here. So what have we looked at? We've looked at the Lime line, we've looked at the Shamrock line. I think. What are you? You're Shamrock. Have I seen this one? Yeah, so it's the Emerald line that I need to find now. That. Choose a random vehicle. Like that. I think the traffic UI could be updated, though they made a few updates to the performance in the last update. In fact, quite a few changes were made. Yeah, do you remember when I was streaming Cities in Motion 2 that time, and that guy came in and started complaining about Skylines and how it's all, what was it, processor, and it's all AI, and how AI is easy managed and stuff like that. So I think the traffic AI with each update is slowly being tweaked, because every time they release an update for this game, the average computer performance has increased. Is it Moore's law? It says the processing power of a PC doubles every 18 months. I think that's how it goes. So every time they release an update, bear in mind this game is, what, 5 years old now? So the traffic AI will act very differently now to how it did when the game first released. And a lot of people will say, you know, they're holding back on us, but actually it's because they're waiting on hardware standards to increase so that the software can then be upgraded to match. Have you ever used a 5 mile per hour speed limit anywhere? Yes, I think one of my bus stations has a 5 mile per hour speed limit. I can't remember which one though. I just realised the bit of the Lime line that I actually followed that train to watch, I never got to see. Oh well. I feel like the speed limit in these stations should be a lot lower. I feel like the speed limit as a whole on the metro should be a lot lower. I think the average speed on the London Underground is somewhere between 25 and 30 miles an hour. I think it's 40 on the Victoria line, and then it gets up to 60 on the Metropolitan suburban lines. So I have to change this to reflect that. The game is reality. Oh, the game is really good now. I like the DLCs and the free updates. There's lots of places in real life where the speed limit is 5 miles an hour. Car parks. I mean, car parks is the main area, to be fair. But there are other places. Should I use the tree-lined avenue for this as well? I probably should. Do I still have it selected? I wouldn't have, would I? Because So I get the less good version of that bridge again, but I'm okay with that. Something else as well, because people are always very quick to criticize developers of games. The expression I absolutely hate is they're just in it for the money, because you're basically describing a business when you say that, and you're criticizing them for doing the exact same thing that every other business in the world does. Oh, the match is still going on. Oh, there's another match going on. I don't know what's going on at the moment. Do we have any other matches? So we've got lots of matches all happening on the same day. But yeah, sorry, as well as the paid DLC that these developers release. So there was the Sunset Harbour DLC, which added loads of new things, loads of new features, trolleys being one of them. But there was also a free update that came as part of that. Some of it is so that other parts of the game are compatible with the DLC if people were to buy it. But other little fixes here and there, and Planet Coaster did the same thing. So when they introduced hotels and restaurants to Planet Coaster, that was free. Those two aspects of the game were free. It was only like the scenery packs, the extra rides, and even then sometimes rides were given away for free. There was a challenge that had to be completed, and if the community as a whole completed the challenge, they got a free roller coaster. And the community did complete the challenge. I was part of it, thankfully, and we have a whole free ride that was added to the game because of it. So there's a lot of these little free updates as well as the paid ones. People don't tend to acknowledge that though. They just continuously talk about cash grabs. Are you currently getting any warnings about stream health, bitrate, video? Why is the stream buffering? According to this, I've not dropped any frames, and YouTube's not telling me I've got any issues either. Okay, so we've not added any new areas to the city today, which is kind of disappointing because I'd have liked to have done that. What's our fire coverage like over here? Pretty poor, actually. I'll add another fire station there. And yeah, Leapside, Hunway, we don't have any fire. Oops, that's the wrong type of fire station. Let's go with this type. What would I like to see in the next DLC? For Skylines? I don't know. I kind of like not really having a preference, because then when something like Sunset Harbour can be announced, it kind of catches me by surprise. I can sit there and think, what a cool DLC. Because this is a cool DLC. And I certainly wouldn't have predicted it. I don't know how many of you guys would have anticipated something like this being added to the game. Look at that lovely fire coverage we've now got. I'm going to stop doing stupid accents as well, because I'm probably offending people. Not buffering, still at 720p, but when a new music text shows it has several artifacts. Oh no, that's just it's a happy accident. On my laptop, I managed to get the green screen effect to work properly. Sorry, on my old desktop, I got the green screen effect to work properly. But when I tried to do it on my laptop, I had this, what you see, like the little artifact around the outside. And I was going to change it, and then I thought, actually, it's quite quirky. It makes it stand out. So I kept it. I could change it if I want to, but I'm not that bothered by it. I think it looks alright. So I'll put a fire station here as well. We need to have a fire station on this island, and it needs to take precedence. Maybe I'll put it like here. No, really it needs to be on the in-road. Somewhere like that. So that now all has fire coverage. And this area here should do as well, in reality. Fantasy World has a fire station. So the whole city now, apart from down here, is covered. I could put another small one up here somewhere. Maybe on this junction. Maybe one there, just to get full coverage there. We got one there, we got one there, we got one there, we got one there. So we got 4 fire stations. This is a very high risk area, that's why it's a problem. Yeah, I agree with Frank. Freight trains instead of just cargo trains, because you have like, what have we got here? These dump trucks, okay, from the ice cube factory. Okay, that's a bad example. Let's say I had an ore mine, like a iron ore mine somewhere over here. If you had a dump truck full of iron ore, it wouldn't drop off here just for a container train to leave. It would have to be a mineral train, which I have, because I've got the coal train thing set up. But I think the train should reflect the cargo, rather than just be containers, and that's it. So yeah, exactly like Frank said, oil wagons as well. So I actually have an inventory. So if an oil wagon goes in, then there should be an oil tank here somewhere that gets filled up. Same with containers, fill it up, the pile there. There's tankers here actually. Or like a mineral heap. And then have a train built according to what's stockpiled in this station. The challenge for Planet Coaster was to build a certain mileage of roller coaster track. So it was an accumulative thing. So every time you built a roller coaster, it would measure how long that roller coaster was, and then it would send that data to Frontier, which would go towards the challenge. So I can't remember how much, like what the mileage was they were looking for, but it was, I think they doubled it in the end. The people, the community, because we all did it. Place Firewatch Towers 2 with all the trees. Do I have Firewatch Towers? I don't. Isn't that part of the Disasters DLC though? Which I don't have. So I probably don't need to worry about it. What's our coverage like? Crime rate's pretty low actually. That's surprising. Must be because, you know, we're not really taxing people or anything like that. We do need jail. Where should we put the jail? Oh. I had a fire pole burned down, so maybe I do need a fire watch tower. Can I put a jail here? Yeah. Let's do that. So you're not happy. I suppose you have escaped convicts right next to a factory. That's not going to be ideal, is it? There's a lot of my water pumps that weren't getting power. What about health coverage? I mean, the healthcare availability is very, very high. I do have a couple of clinics up here. I think one down here by the water wouldn't be a bad thing. And a grand crematorium, yes. Having one of these would be nice. Wow, look at the traffic. I think a lot of heavy traffic is using this road. So I think I should put the grand crematorium there. Why are you unhappy? No idea. So I'm going to turn parking off for this road. And I'm also going to turn car use off. for this road. And this. And public transport, actually. So it's just going to be garbage and emergency vehicles. Which I hope a hearse counts towards. Did the Planet Coaster Challenge count only coasters or also other rides? Just coasters. So the prize was... I can't remember what they called it in-game, but effectively it was the same roller coaster model as the Incredible Hulk coaster at Universal Orlando. So that's a B&M coaster, sit-down coaster. It had a launch component that was built by a different company. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. I'm just going to put a load of crematoriums down instead. So yeah, the challenge was to build a certain mileage of roller coaster track within, I think it was like a couple of weeks, and the target was hit and in many ways exceeded. There you go. That's my grand crematorium. Pretty much all these buildings have at least a hearse going out. So what's Lafayette looking like? Oh, we got crime. Oh, there is a high crime rate down here. That one house has a high crime rate. So that's literally someone deciding, I'm going to commit a crime today. Put a police station there as well then. Yeah, let's go with any random vehicles, I'm not too fussed. I'd like to see some reform the railway network with extra tracks and expandable stations. Custom freight terminals would be good. It'd be alright. Yeah. I think if you're going to add custom passenger terminals, then you have to do the same with freight as well. So whatever they do for passenger, they got to do for freight. One thing I'd like to see them fix is this. The fact that it has to plateau out on flat land before it can then go underground. I think they should add the vanilla ability to go straight from a bridge to a tunnel. This bit here, I mean, you've seen me try and build this today. It's been an absolute nightmare trying to get this done because there has to be this weird flat section, and it also doesn't have the third rail in that section. So you can see exactly where it is a necessity. This bit here as well. You know, even using mods and stuff, you can't really get that smooth slope. So that's something that needs to be fixed in the vanilla game. All these lumps and bumps as well. They need to change the way that the splines for rail and road work. Road isn't too bad, it's manageable, but rail it could be different. Have you considered upgrading the road that all the heavy industry trucks are using to the right of Lafayette? They shouldn't be using this though. Like, they were using this as a right of way to get into the city, but they shouldn't have been. This is really only to access the farm. So farm vehicles, I could increase the speed limit, I suppose. But all this heavy traffic, this hasn't come from the farm. That was just using it as a circular route. Because Lafayette has a heavy traffic ban, so it's kind of using this as a circulatory way of avoiding going through. All industrial traffic should be using this motorway. It's good to see that traffic is dying down somewhat. But yeah, once this queue has gone away, things should run a little bit smoother as well. Even you. Okay, you're from the farm. You're from the farm. Oh, you are from the farm. You're not. You are. So there are some that are and some that aren't. I might change this up a little bit as well. But I'll do, if I'm going to do that, it'll be off camera. But yeah, I think for this stream, we're pretty much done. Oh, there's a bit of traffic here at Guard Square as well. You are set to give way, aren't you? Yeah. Just for some reason it ignores it. So it's the sharp turns that are causing the slowdown issues here. And people swapping lane. Is it just City Skylines you are streaming, or are you also streaming other games? I will be streaming other games. I think once this city gets to a certain point, I'll start streaming other games. It's kind of just doing project work right now. If you've got any ideas for other games you want to see streamed. Not open TTD though, because there's a few episodes, I think there's like 5 episodes that have been recorded in advance. So maybe once those are out, if we're still in quarantine, I'll stream open TTD again. But Space Engineers is on the list. I think that'll be the next project. It depends on how much Space Engineers wants to behave. If it wants to be a pain, then I probably won't do it. We will see. Yeah, traffic's kind of flowing on this. Don't know what you're doing. You're not parking on this road, are you? No. Where are the trolleys? There's one. I think we could follow the trolley to end the stream. I think you need more vehicles. How many have you got? 10. Let's do 15. We'll follow this one actually, because you're right near the end of the line. But yeah, if you've got any ideas for games you'd like to see me stream, head over to the Stream Ideas chat on Discord and leave your idea there. So the project I really want to get done in Space Engineers is the Drillers project. So Bob, you know about this because you were there on that stream for the 1K streams. I want to build a big drilling rig, big mobile drilling rig. So I've got the current platform that you start on. Eventually that's all going to be ground down and gone. I'm going to build a new facility that's kind of built into the ground, and then have a big mobile rig that goes out, drills hillsides, comes back, dumps all the stone to be processed. And then maybe set up an orbital station, or at least a station up in space above the planet, and then have little autonomous mining vehicles that go out to asteroids and other planets and do mining there. Why is it saying next vehicle in infinity seconds? Probably because the game's paused at the moment, it hasn't updated. Also, once it reaches its capacity, it just switches to infinity so that no other vehicle spawns. Right, let's watch this, and then we'll start wrapping up. I could probably wrap up whilst we're watching this, actually. So, yeah, we didn't get much done in terms of new bits of the city, but I feel like we got a lot done in terms of improving what we already had. So the transport links, getting the metro up and running again, and having the metro operate on a feeder basis as well. That was kind of big on the priorities list. So having it so that the buses and the trolley and in some cases the tram feeds the metro, and that then transports you between districts a lot quicker. Make an orbital cannon. I don't really do destructive stuff. I tend to do mining vehicles and cargo vehicles and stuff like that. I don't really build warships. Me and Death, actually, Death, he was here earlier, we had a server set up at one point where we'd have like a PvP area, and then the rest of it would just be built for trading and commercial and mining and stuff like that. I kind of like that idea. So those who want to build ships and fight each other can do so in a specific area, but for the rest of the world, or the galaxy or universe in that case, it would be more construction based. It's like I said earlier, I don't like building stuff just for someone to destroy it immediately. It kind of ruins the fun for me. There's the cemetery. So this is the only trolley line in the city so far. Might well excuse me, might well end up being the only trolley line ever in the city. Actually, I just realised there is one thing that I said I was going to do today that I haven't done yet. And that is, this pillar needs to move slightly. I believe it needs to just move this way. A touch. And that's just so that when you're on the tram, you don't pass through the middle of the pillar. I think that's... yeah, so I could actually move it back one. I think there should be fine. So it still holds up the pathway and everything. Okay, let's save the game again. always save. Even if the game doesn't crash on you, always save, because you never know. Are you ever doing any off-camera work on City Skylines or Space Engineers? Space Engineers, no. City Skylines, I did a little bit last night where I was just fixing some junctions and stuff like that, so nothing major. Would you make a server for a bunch of your fans to play Space Engineers on? If there's enough people that want to do it, then yeah. I mean, what I could do is my desktop that I don't use for streaming and recording, I could set up a dedicated server on that, because it's left running all the time anyway. Because then it won't really cost me any extra. If I was to set up a third-party dedicated server, I'd probably have to rely on Patreon subscribers or something for that, so it'd be a Patreon-only thing. But if I set it up on my own rig, then I can do it for free. But in the past, I've kind of jumped the gun a little bit and set up all those servers and stuff like that, and then no one joined. So I'm only going to do it if people are actually going to join. Otherwise, it's not worth the effort. Yeah, this and the tram, I think, are the two favourite things for me to go first person on. The buses as well, I suppose, but just following a right of way like this. So this is Hunway that we're going through at the moment. I think you'll be able to tell when we cross into Lafayette. It'll be the moment where all the big buildings disappear. So this trolley also kind of acts as a feeder system. There's only 3 stops in each district. So the bus is really the feeder. The bus feeds everything else, whether it's the tram, the trolley, the metro. If we do monorail, it would probably feed that as well. I would join. I think we need like between 5 and 10 people for each game. Same with OpenTTD. I'll only make OpenTTD online when we have sort of 5 to 10 patrons. Because that one I think I'd have to get a third-party server, and I can't imagine they're cheap. So it'll need to pay for itself. The best times was when we used to do Minecraft. Me and Slip used to do Minecraft, and we'd have all people from all over the world joining. And you could just hop on and off, see what people are up to. I had that with Space Engineers as well, I suppose. I used to leave my PC on overnight so people could stay on the game. That was when it was fun. That was when it's worthwhile as well. Even now, it would be fun, but it wouldn't be worthwhile because there's not enough people. So yeah, I believe we have now crossed into Lafayette. Are those floating people up there? How weird. Yeah, it's definitely Lafayette. Less and less people waiting now in this direction because they're all waiting on the other side to go back. Tell you what, we'll do this trolley route and then we'll do both tram routes and then we'll wrap up. Because that'll probably take us up to the 3-hour mark. Oh, ambulance. So this is the turning circle. So somewhere... When you said 5 people to set up a Patreon-only server, did you mean that? And also, they must collectively pay for the server costs? To put it bluntly, yes. Because if I had 5 patrons, depending on what level each patron was at, a server costs anywhere between £1 and like £25 a month to run. So to make it worthwhile, I would need 5 to 10 patrons at least the $5 tier for it to pay for itself. Because in the past I probably would have paid for it out of my own pocket, but right now, you know, I've got to think about finances and what's the sensible thing to do. Plus it's a Patreon only server, so that I'd need to have 5 people supporting me on Patreon in order to set up the server anyway. So the money I would generate from that would then pay for the server. As I said, Space Engineers is different. It all depends, because I'd like to set up a Minecraft server again in the future, because I've not so much over the last few weeks, but before that I was playing Minecraft a fair amount. And I had a lot of ideas for projects, but a lot of it I needed people to kind of buy into what I was doing. And the people I was playing online with weren't hindering, but they also weren't helping. So it wasn't as much fun as it should have been. So getting viewers involved, you guys are all of a similar way of thinking to me, otherwise we wouldn't have this shared interest. So you can still go off and do your own thing, but if I say something like, hey, I'm thinking of putting an auto sorter system here, you guys can then go, that's fine, I won't build there. Or, awesome, can I help? Have you ever thought of making a big ship to carry a bunch of miners? I have. That was the other thing that Drillus was going to do. So Drillus was going to have a big drilling rig in the middle, so you could park over a patch of land and then use the piston rotor method to have some drills dig down, and the rest of the vehicle would straddle the hole that you make. It was also going to have a big drilling rig on the front, so you could drive forward. Why is there a car sunk into the ground there? So you could drive forward into a mountainside and drill out that way. And then, yeah, maybe having little mining drones that will attach to the side that can then go off, and particularly if you find like an iron ore vein and you can't use drillers to dig it for whatever reason, you can send a little autonomous mining drone to go and do it instead. Patreon, so the lowest tier, there should be a link in the description below for Patreon. The lowest tier is $1 a month, and you get certain tier rewards that come from that. And then the highest I think at the moment is $25 a month, and I think there's 6 tiers. So there's no requirement. If you're a patron, you can join the Patreon only Discord channel and things like that. So I'm not saying that you can only join if you pay over a certain amount, because I don't think that's very fair. So $1 is the lowest amount, and $1 to me is like, I think it's like 87 pence or something at the moment. So it's really small numbers. I don't want to force people to have to pay to do basic things. And the higher tiers, the higher the tier you go, you do get more rewards. So OpenTTD, for example, you can run your own franchise depending on how much you support per month. But just to join a Patreon-only server, like on Space Engineers or Minecraft, wherever it might be, I think the lowest tier would be acceptable. Maybe the tier up above. I don't know yet. Don't take what I'm saying right now as gospel, because it might change, and I don't want to mislead people by suddenly changing my mind. What about getting Transport Fever 2 now and streaming that too? We could do that, in fact, yeah. I'll see how much it is. I'll see how much it is on Steam. That'd be good. I know a lot of people have converted mods that worked on the original Transport Fever to now work on Transport Fever 2. So there's a lot more substance to the game to play around with now. This is a really nice view across this bit of town. I like this. Do you think that with enough supporters you could get a top level dedicated Minecraft server that has a CPU similar to an i9? You really like the i9s, don't you, James? I can't promise that it'll be top level, but one of the problems on the Minecraft server that I was playing on a couple of months ago was it didn't matter how good a connection you had at your end, the server would always lag. So it was a £1 a month server. I think it was capped at like 8 players, and the connection speed was awful. So I would start at a £2 a month server, or maybe even £5 a month server. So yeah, as many people all around the world can connect to it without it crashing. So I'd like to get it up to like 10 to 15 capacity. depends how feasible it is. It's like $1 a month. I am going to be redoing my Patreon shortly, because if you go on my website and go on the M4J network section, you will see the full details about franchising and how that's linked to Patreon. So I'm going to have to edit my Patreon to tie into that. So it might change a little bit, the Patreon page, but not too much. Yeah, I want to make it reasonable. I don't want to rip people off. Because really right now, you get your franchise on OpenTTD and you get some Patreon only videos that are currently being produced. But there's not a lot else that I can offer right now for Patreon supporters. My merch store is going to be moving soon as well. For reasons that, again, I can't really talk about right now. But once that's all sorted, there might be some merch possibilities to do with Patreon too. So you might get like a discount code or, you know, guaranteed money off, whatever it might be. I think with because the merch store's moving, the designs will change. Or at least the item that the design is on will change slightly. But I might be able to now offer it cheaper. So that might entice more people to look at it. But again, I'll be writing a blog post about this in the near future. I don't think there is going to be a blog post for this month, but there will be for next month. Double-decker bus on the way to the stadium, or on the way from the stadium. I want to look at what this view looks like now as you cross the bridge onto Stadium Point. I feel like on this bridge the tram should have its own right of way. I don't know though. Yeah, if anyone has feedback or ideas for the Patreon rewards, feel free to suggest them, because I'm kind of stuck for what kind of things to offer a lot of the time. So if there's anything in particular that you'd be interested in, specific videos was something that was suggested before, Patreon only servers, that's now on the list. But if there's anything else, let me know. Alright, heading back to the city. I don't think we need to watch the journey back now. Hopefully there's a tram over here that we can pick up soon. Did you know that even looking at pre-builts, you can get 70 to 80% of the single-threaded performance of an i9 plus 18 to 16 gig of RAM for just £15 to £20 per month? Yeah, it is surprisingly cheap these days. The drawback of it is they actually have... So they'll have a server, like an actual block server, and then that server will have like 4 or 5 dependencies on it. So if you buy a Minecraft server, what you're really effectively buying is, or renting, is storage space in an existing server, along with perhaps 4 or 5 other people. So sometimes if something gets corrupted in the server, it can wipe out a whole bank of storage. So you always take that risk, but as long as you've got your world file backed up on your own device, you know, that shouldn't be an issue, because then you can just swap to a new provider. Let's say it's got to pay for itself. I can't afford to subsidize it. So this is Varsity Island we're on now. And then we're going to be crossing over through Guard Square and into Lafayette, into the underground tram stop there. And I want to check that to make sure that the underground tram stop isn't interfered with by the metro station. It's great views. Some of the buildings we've got in this city are really, really pretty. That vehicle shouldn't really be in that lane. Alrighty. We need a name for this street as well that runs across the water edge. Speed limit here is a bit fast. We need to turn it down to 30. I'm hoping that tram in front of us isn't on the same line. We'll find out when we get to Guard Square. Where's the largest current or former consistent monthly donation someone has ever paid to you? Consistently, I think it's the highest Patreon tier. I have a gold member. Actually, is it? So I do have a tier higher, second highest tier. So I do have a gold member on Patreon. That's consistent, but in terms of one-off fees, I've had people donate $50 before. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's literally called First Person Mod. Which I know sounds like patronising, but honestly, that is what it's called. Okay, that tram was on the same line as us. There's a bit of a traffic block. No worries, bud. Can I ask you guys as well, if you haven't done so already, to hit the like button on YouTube, just to get the interaction numbers up. You might not think it helps the channel out much, but trust me, it does. That police car just went straight through that van. I just went straight through that van. Okay, the hitbox on that van doesn't, being Q van, doesn't look very good if vehicles are passing through it. I do love these little tram stops in the middle of the road like this. And the road traffic has to sort of navigate around it. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button. It might seem like a really small thing, but the algorithm works on interactions as well as viewing figures and subscriber counts and things like that. I think interaction is actually something that it looks at first before it looks at anything else. No one knows fully how it works. I don't even think people at YouTube fully understand how it works. But, you know, anything like that that can help spread the channel. As that guy said earlier, perseverance. Been doing this for nearly 7 years and I've only just hit 1,000 subscribers. So anything to promote that exponential growth. There's a lot of people wanting to go this way. I wonder if they're going to connect to the metro in Lafayette. I love this view. Running across the waterfront like this. The transport tower. Ah yeah, there's a metro station here, isn't there? I forgot about this one. Everyone gets off here now. Yep. There they all go. So we're nearly done. Got to go through the old town of Lafayette still. Here we go, turning onto the old streets. Go through the parking area. we are. The old cobblestone roads. Roads. I speak English good. Look at that, still new buildings springing up. They're all pubs. This is the pub district of the city. And we got this stop here, and then it's the long climb uphill to the underground one. Yeah, can't see any metro interference. Alrighty. Well, that pretty much does it for this stream, guys. It's been a good one. Enjoyed it once more. What's tomorrow? Today's Thursday, isn't it? Yeah, so tomorrow's Friday. Do you know what? Tomorrow I think we'll do a different game. Whether it's Space Engineers or Transport Fever 2, I don't know yet. But I think we will do something different. Because we've been doing City Skylines for basically a week now. Where's the underground station? Here. Oh, I built it over there in the end. So yeah, you gotta walk around the streets to get to it. Okay. That one's waiting. But yeah, the city's kind of coming together. It still looks a little sparse in places, so we have to try and fill that in a little bit more. Did you know that for the first 12 hours of a stream, you can see exactly how many seconds the stream has elapsed? Oh! So like right now it's well, on YouTube right now it's telling me 2:43:55. And then yeah, once it gets to 12, because the hours become double digits, so it just shows it in hours and minutes. It's kind of cool. It's been a long time since I did anything over 12 hours though. I'm going to try and avoid that because it's not particularly healthy. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have done so. If you haven't done so already, thank you everyone who has done so. 5 likes, very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already. Again, that really does help me out. Head over to my Discord and join the Stream Ideas chat in particular if you want to suggest things, or I might set up a new text chat for City Skylines as well, so we can talk about stuff specifically related to New Gardcity here. And what else? Drop comments, go to Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook as well if you haven't done so already. Twitter's probably the best place, but every video I post goes to Reddit, Twitter and Facebook at the same time. So whichever one of those you've got, you'll always see videos when they go live. Will you do another stream later today? Probably not today because I've got some stuff to sort out. But tomorrow, definitely. Tomorrow afternoon. What about a ferry line between the 2 islands? Yes, that was meant to be something else we were going to do today. That's a very good point. So a ferry line was meant to go between Guard Square here and Varsity Island, so we'll have to set that up. I think I might do one from down here as well. Like, it is possible. Let me check this. If I built a ferry... Oh, that's already on a road. That's the problem with these things, is they're already on roads. Maybe up here. Or I build an extension to the shoreline here and build a ferry stop here, and then have a ferry that runs between Lafayette, Guard Square and Varsity Island, something like that. We'll see. Football Manager, I'm still waiting on the database to be released for Football Manager 2020. So once that's out, it should be close. It should be close. I don't see why it wouldn't be close, but I know that Dan, the guy who makes it, oh, my Chrome's playing up again. He's still working during the quarantine, so he doesn't have the time to necessarily work solely on the database. So it'll be ready when it's ready, essentially, and pretty much the day it's released, I'll go on the editor and edit stuff for Hatfield, and then we'll get set up and started. But yeah, any other ideas, feel free to suggest them. If it's games I've already owned, then we can jump straight into it. If it's a game I don't yet own, then I'll look into it. I'm not going to say no to any ideas right now. I'll always look into it first. But yeah, I think that is it for the stream, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon.